Underneath this beautiful wrapping is the watch of my dreams. I like things that are different. I like things that are uncommon, and I love to go against the grain. The dial has a story. So stay tuned to see the big reveal of the Rolex watch that I purchased to commemorate my 50th milestone birthday. Welcome back, amigos. If this is your first time, welcome, bienvenidos. I am Laura. It's a pleasure having you here. Mucho gusto. Amigos, I previously shared with you about 3 months ago that my wonderful SA at my local authorized dealer offered me my second Rolex within a 6 months period. This is the Rolex. It took me a year to decide which one that I wanted for my milestone birthday. It took that long because I was very cognizant of making sure that I made the right decision in my purchase, because I knew I was going to be making a significant investment. And it actually took me that long because the dial was the hardest thing for me to decide on, aside from then how I wanted the bezel, and then of course how I wanted the bracelet. Because of the particular watch that I selected, it is not very common here within the luxury community, even within the watch community. There are a few reveals out there, but they are mainly by a lot of gentlemen that have purchased this watch and in a larger size. So I am beyond thrilled because this one truly is one that I took my time in deciding, and the history of the particular watch and the dial just made it all the more special. So while I show a clip of me unwrapping my beautiful birthday gift, I want to give you a little bit of history about this particular watch. So if you haven't already noticed, within the title, I kind of already gave you a hint about it. At my local store, I happened to go in one day and I was looking at the models that they had. This was probably like my 4th time going in and looking at the different exhibition pieces. And one of the models they had actually pulled it out of the case so that my husband could try it on. And their Rolex master, he is wonderful, but he started to explain this particular dial. And this dial was slate, but the Roman numerals around it were what caught my attention, because if you love Rolex watches, you might know that a lot of the watches that have anything green, they are rather limited. Rolex watches that have green on them, like let's say maybe the Starbucks, like the Carmet watch that they call, those are very special, they're very unique, they're very sought after. As he explained the markers and the history, he said, you know, this particular watch is a rare one because of the fact that it has the green. And the green on this one, we refer to it as the Wimbledon piece, because of the fact that the green around the Roman numerals is going to be very reminiscent of the beautiful green tennis court, right, during the Wimbledon championships. And back in 2018, Rolex and Wimbledon celebrated a 40-year anniversary. To symbolize this collaboration between Rolex and Wimbledon, back in 2009, to represent this partnership, they released this very unique dial, which they nicknamed the Wimbledon Rolex, because of the beautiful slate dial, the black Roman numerals, and then the very beautiful green border. Once I saw this particular dial in person, it just took on a whole other facet. I fell in love with it. And I started to do more and more research, see so many videos that were out here on YouTube. I was beyond surprised because I didn't expect to receive it so soon. I thought it was gonna come in later in the year, but it arrived early for my milestone birthday, and I have been holding on to it. And this beautiful watch was wrapped and put away, and I celebrated my birthday on June 6th, and now today is the big reveal. Enough of the chit chat, because now I want to go ahead and introduce you to my wonderful new Rolex timepiece. So I will show the video of me unwrapping it. So it comes in this particular box, and you have the little flap down here that says Rolex. And they've got that little covering, the beautiful green box. Okay, listos amigos, listos. Oh my gosh, This one truly, truly is a beauty in my eyes. Here she is in all her glory. This is the Rolex 36mm Oyster Perpetual Datejust with the Oystersteel band and the 18 karat Everose gold two-tone band, and you have the 18 karat Everose Fluted bezel, and it just has so much sparkle. And the dial is slate, so it is a very neutral color, and it is absolutely wonderful. Now, she did put my one extra little link here. She left it at the bottom, and then of course in the back you have all of the information. You've got the little authentication piece there. I've got my card information, and of course you've got your little booklet, and then the little price tag is here. So all this information gets stored here in the back. And she's really good about always sending me like a separate information on the purchase, so this way it goes to the insurance company. We'll insert some video clips showing this particular watch up close so you can actually see the particular dial, and then explain to you why I chose this particular color combo, but especially the band, because some of you might be thinking, I can't believe you ended up choosing that particular band because it does a lot of scratches. Ya sé, amigos, I already know that was something that I had considered, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But this is the beautiful Rolex Wimbledon dial, and I just thought this one was extremely beautiful. Now I want to show you the back. So you have the very smooth closure here on the back with the beautiful crown. Now know that if you were to do a Jubilee band, you still get this particular larger clasp. When I was doing my research and wanting to purchase the watch with the Jubilee band, that's the reason why I wanted the Jubilee band, was because I thought it was going to have that really pretty hidden crown closure. But with the 36mm, they're all going to have the same large closure, and that only comes in the smaller models like the 31mm. And so you do have an extension to where you can pop this out, and it gives you, see that? It gives you an extra like 0.5mm in order to go ahead and, you know, shorten it or lengthen the strap if you want. So that one was really easy to pull out and pop back in. And so that's a very nice feature with this particular watch. You have the hour and then the minute marker, and then the second you have the date. And what I like about this one is on the 9 you actually have like the luminescent piece there on the 9, as well as on the actual hands. And this one is absolutely gorgeous. I will tell you this, I ended up choosing this particular watch because of the fact that when he mentioned that watches that have the green become limited and they're rare, and that they eventually will discontinue them. He says they don't always, he says they do not always last. They have a shelf life essentially. And he goes, so eventually this one will end up getting retired. He goes, we just don't know, because Rolex doesn't, you know, with Rolex, you never know when they're going to go ahead and retire something. And he said, so eventually this one will get retired. And so that's why I wanted to choose this particular piece, because I absolutely loved it. I love the combination with the rose gold. For somebody who is an army wife that loves camo, to me this particular dial was very like reminiscent. It gave me those camo vibes, the camo feel, and I absolutely loved it. So now let me tell you why I ended up picking this particular smooth oyster steel with the rose gold instead of the Jubilee, because I think it's very important, especially when you are, whether you are a first-time Rolex watch buyer or whether you are adding your second, third, or fourth piece into your collection. In January, I told my S8 I want the Rolex Wimbledon dial in the Everose color 18 karat two-tone combination, and it has to have a fluted Everose bezel. And I told her it doesn't matter whether it comes in the Oystersteel band or the Jubilee. I could go either way, and of course my heart was set on the Jubilee. So I gave her that information in January, made my decision of this year. So a few months later in March, I was in a Lenten season, no buy year, not buying any luxury, just buying necessities, when she calls and says, hey, this particular watch came in. And I almost told her no, because when she said it's the smooth one, it's not the Jubilee. And I was like, oh, my heart was really leaning towards the Jubilee. And my husband said, we need to go in so you can see it in person. And so we went in, I was trying them on. I'll insert the video footage of the two side by side, because I had her pull the Wimbledon piece that they had as the exhibition model in their case that had the yellow gold, and that was the yellow gold Jubilee bracelet. And so when I had them on side by side, I was like not getting any warm and fuzzy, was not getting the butterflies, like, wow, this is beautiful. My eye kept going to the particular bracelet because I had it on and I was just moving my wrist in their mirror. And I would go to a long mirror. I was like in the short mirror where you would try on jewelry. And I'm like, something's not right. Something doesn't look right with the particular band. And she said, can I give you my opinion? And I was like, yes, of course. And she says she goes, my eye is going to the bracelet. She goes, it's not really going to the watch, like the face. But once she made that comment, my husband said, on this watch, he goes, your dial, this face right here, this is the bullseye. This is where your eye should be drawn. He goes, my vision should go here. My husband, he's something else. He's not the bougie one. I am. He could care less about any type of luxury items, period. You know, his thing is like, if it's a watch, does it keep time? That's all that matters to him. And he said, this is one MFN beautiful watch, Laura. He goes, this is gorgeous. He goes, that dial, he goes, it just draws your eye in. He says, and that's where my eye should go. That's where my vision should go, here, not here. He goes, that band is stealing the show. He said, and this is the one that's the beauty. He goes, this one is beautiful. He goes, this is the one that you should pick, not the one with the Jubilee bracelet, because in person, this just looked so much better. And I know those hide the scratch, you know, I know the Jubilee hides the scratches, and this one, it's going to show a little bit more, of course, so I have to be a little bit more careful. But when we were there, actually, on one of the visits in the store, one of my SA's clients came in, and he actually buys those adhesives. It's almost kind of like a sticker, but it's a protection. And so he actually puts them on his watches, and he was telling me that he likes to put them more like on the side, especially for his models that have like the Jubilee, because it'll hide the scratches. But for the ones that are smooth, he'll put those adhesives on, and it actually has done really, really well to protect all, especially of the sides and even the band. And he goes, pretty much after 3 years, he goes, you might start to see like a little bit of lifting where you might need to go ahead and, you know, put a new little adhesive on. He says, but they've done really, really well to protect the actual band, especially when you're making such an investment in these particular timepieces. And I believe it was called Sticks. I'll put the information down below, but he recommended it, and they were actually a very good price. They're only like about maybe $40, $50, and they are cut exactly to the particular watch that you actually have. So that's just another item to consider in case you do want to purchase one of these watches, that you can actually put those adhesives on here, and it doesn't change the tone of it or not. He said it actually looks gorgeous. The one that he had on, he was showing me, and it actually looked pretty good. So it's just something else to consider. But like I said, that Jubilee band just stole the show. It did not look good. Once I put this one on and I saw it in person and saw how this was just a beautiful, smooth, clean look, but you have the beautiful, beautiful show right here, and this is where your eye is drawn, and that is what just made me enamored with this particular watch, especially in person with this combination. And it does look nice in an 18 karat yellow gold, but the rose gold just makes this slate dial with the Wimbledon green around the markers just pop. It gives it that je ne sais quoi. It just is more zhuzh with this particular color combo, in my opinion. It looks gorgeous in an all stainless steel as well, with the fluted bezel and the Jubilee, and I even considered that one because the manager from the Lee Michaels store actually had that particular one on. She was a beautiful petite lady, looked like 110 pounds wet, and she was rocking her 36 millimeter oyster steel, you know, all oyster steel Jubilee band, all in that beautiful white, clean silver look, and it looked gorgeous. But the other YouTube videos that you see out here of the other gentlemen that have purchased this watch in their 41, whether it's within the Jubilee and the smooth, you know, oyster steel band, it looks gorgeous. And I was always drawn to the videos of them wearing the Jubilee bracelet, and that's why it looked wonderful. And online, when you're configuring your watch model, online it looks great, but once you actually see it in person and you're trying it on, it's a whole other animal. And so I highly recommend that if when you are considering and making an investment in one of these timepieces, that you actually go and you try it on and you see it in person, especially if it's one that you're considering on your wish list and they say, hey, this one came in, and you're ready to tell them no. Definitely go in and look and just make sure that you've actually seen it in person before you rule it out. I'm beyond happy that my SA offered me this particular timepiece how I wanted it before my milestone birthday, so it definitely came in time for that, and I've been wearing it and loving it. It does have, of course, a higher profile than any of my other watches, just because of the size, but I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. And let me move it over here to this side so you can see how it'll look with the love bracelet. But it's a really good combination, and I am absolutely thrilled with it. I think it's just perfect. It fits me wonderfully, and I love the fact that I can layer with some of my other bracelets, whether it's some of like my silver, white gold, or I can just easily layer it with this particular 18 karat gold bracelet. It's a really good combination, and I'm absolutely thrilled. In the light, when the sun reflects on it, it's absolutely gorgeous because you do have that beautiful sun ray dial. Can you see that? So you have that beautiful like sunburst. They call that sunburst style. So you'll see that reflection of just like how it moves. You have that beautiful sunburst on the actual dial, and it's got a beautiful like that gray. It's just got that beautiful like gray finish, and then you have the dark numbers and then the nice green border. Showing you this combination right here side by side next to my 18 karat rose gold Tiffany hardware bracelet. If you can see, I want you to see the difference on here. This is very buttery, but Rolex has their own patented Everose color here. So it has a little bit more of like maybe like a copper in a sense, but it's not really bad. It's really a beautiful rose gold tone. For me, this one is beautiful. This one suits me and my personality. I love camo. I'm an army wife, and so the slate dial with the green, it just is a very subtle. It's not a dark, it's not a bright green like a Starbucks green or that Kermit green. It's very like a subdued but beautiful neutral face because of the slate. But then when the sun hits it and you see it catch the beautiful green, that's when it'll shine like a very beautiful field of green on that tennis court. It looks very beautiful. And then indoors, like in certain lighting, it'll look like more of like a darker green. So it's very like chameleon. It's got a very like chameleon vibe to it, and I'm absolutely stoked that I just got this watch, and it is absolutely gorgeous and it's beautiful. It's the different one. It's the rare one within my piece collection, but it's also, you know, a rare one and very uncommon out there in the market as far as a lot of the other Rolex models that you see out there. Everybody always, you know, everybody always tends to go for the mother of pearl or that white face, yellow face, or pink. Those are just very common. They're a dime a dozen, but these are uncommon. And that's what I loved about it, because that's what makes this one special for me, in my opinion, because it's a rare beauty. It definitely is a rare beauty. And for me, in this color combination, it is absolutely gorgeous with the 18 karat Everose gold color combination. Let me know, amigos, if this is one that you have ever even seen out there. If you've been in the market and purchasing a Rolex, or let me know if this actually sparked your interest and maybe considering this particular dial and adding it to your collection. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and I think that you will love it just as much as I do, especially if you like a neutral combination and you want just a nice little subtle hint of green and something that's actually rare and uncommon, and you like to be different just like myself. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing, because I have more 50th birthday gifts to share with you. So I have a few more unboxings coming for Hermes, Cartier, and Louis Vuitton. Picked up some wonderful birthday souvenirs on my recent birthday vacation when we traveled to Cancun. So looking forward to sharing that with you, and would not want you to miss out on those fun, lovely luxury pieces that I purchased for myself. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and to all our servicemen and women serving and defending our country around the world, from my military home to yours, thank you so much for your service. Have a wonderful day, amigos. Adios. Hasta la próxima.